Hello guys, welcome back to FNAF. Today we are doing part 5 of 3 reactions, probably the last part, where you guys want me to react to these videos called Undeniably Canon FNAF Timelines. Now I was gonna make a joke in the video about how it's been a year since part 2 released, but literally yesterday he put out part 3. So I can't make the joke anymore, but who cares. Anyways. There's also our 1000th video on the channel. Alright, I guess we gotta start with part 1. Following videos, comedic interpretation of the FNAF timeline, don't get your remnant in a twist. Is that supposed to be a Husband of Toe reference? I don't know.
But hey, that's just...
Oh yeah, shout out to the Oof Troop for making the videos. I think I forgot to credit Game Theory in the video, but I put it in the description. Also, when I was trying to find this channel, I didn't know that it was called Oof Troop, and I kept putting Oof Troop, and it just kept pulling me to political videos.
A theory. A game theory. Thanks.
Hey, you. You look like you're interested in some FNAF lore.
Yes, I am.
Sick of all the speculation. Do you want something that's
Ooh. Is that a Dark Springtrap figure? A lot of people forget that that is an official FNAF character. Definitely from Springtrap or Scraptrap. We also have a McFarlane set, Lefty, Squidward for some reason, and then we have what appears to be a mystery blind bag keychain of Plushtrap, Scraptrap, or no, Plushtrap doesn't have those wires. I think it might be Springtrap. And then we also have Happy Frog. And Squidward. I don't...
undeniably canon? Oh. Well, that's too bad. I'm telling you anyway.
I think this is the FNAF location and night theme. And it's a very, good... I like it. Reminds me of, when, when you're getting ready for school and, they're playing reruns of, family sitcoms. And Undeniably Canon FNAF Timeline Part 1 by the Oof Troop and Hydrated.
The year was 1983. January, to be exact.
No, actually, it's supposed to be 1987, and I know where you get this from. You got it from the TV in FNAF 4, or the keypad in FNAF, sister location, but let me tell you, no, the TV show was made in 1983, and FNAF sister location takes place in 1983. It's kind of contradictory to my entire point, but hey, I will twist the entire FNAF timeline in order for me to be correct, because Into the Pit ruins everything that I've ever known in the FNAF timeline, and I can't even do another Into the Pit theory. It's too much. Everything's I'm pretty sure it takes place in Brazil, but the colors are inverted, and then how is it gonna take the time travel ruins everything. Why did you, do not include time travel in a FNAF game. It will obviously mess up the entire timeline.
Local nobodies Henry Emily and William Afton were walking down the streets.
Why is his neck so weirdly crooked? This is what a normal... this neck is kind of thin compared to, his head. That's kind of weird. Appears to be winter. If this is supposed to be the bite of 83, even though it's the bite of 87, it shouldn't be winter. In the minigames, it's obviously summertime. Especially since, flowers are growing.
In Utah, when suddenly
There's a hurricane in Utah.
they noticed that not once in their life have they ever caught a glimpse of a yellow grizzly bear. It was then their fates were sealed, and they knew that they must fulfill their destiny.
What? Just like that? Just like that. No Fall Fest? Okay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Fall Fest didn't exist yet. No, wait, it did! Halloween update in FNAF Help Wanted. This is only 2 years old. What?
Henry and William were something of robotics enthusiasts.
This is the FNAF 4 robot. I'm pretty sure they had it in Into the Pit too. Oh, yep. Broke his neck, I guess.
So they finally used their untapped potential to create the most realistic animatronic bear imaginable.
What is this book? I'm just zooming in on everything, aren't I? Bears. Great. Last Resort. A Queer Queen. Okay, he broke his neck even more. And those are just random lines.
Their first attempt, they made a decrepit, muddy yellow bear with
I'm pretty sure that's something William did on his own with the illusion discs. Discs with a C to punish Michael after he killed the crying child.
and teeth and claws. This wasn't realistic. William, however, remembered that in the trunk of his car rested a cluster of discs that could emit
Oh.
audio frequencies that would fool people into seeing real bears.
What? Just this is the early 1980s, and you're just casually like making scientific innovations to trick. We don't even have this yet. Like we'll probably have it soon with like Elon Musk brain chips, but we don't even have those yet. And there's like 50 years earlier.
They slapped those bad boys on this animatronic, and suddenly it took the form of the beautiful golden grizzly, who they then
You're just hallucinating yourself.
named Ferdinand von Bernard.
What? What? What do you, what? Where did, give me a source, please? That would be amazing. Source, trust me, bro. Also, is this like a new YouTube feature where like they change the colors from yellow and purple at the top? That's kind of weird.
Not only did he look the part and have a voice like honey butter, but the mind-altering
Why is my sister's in the closet, in the shower, and she's like blasting Green Day music. I don't think the audio will pick up on it since I have a very bad audio system, but it does not have to be that loud. Really doesn't.
audio accidentally gave him sentience and cosmic power beyond our human
Cosmic power. Wow.
understanding. This was very dangerous, but the partners in furry shenanigans were not swayed. That is, until the entire town evacuated at the sight of this golden beast.
I think we have a lot of references here that we gotta look. Alright, well, we have Steve from Minecraft, of course. Otherwise known as Jack Black. We have the Weird Bear, of course. And we have Scott Cawthon. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know what kind of reference this is supposed to be. Here we have Phone Guy. Then, who is this? It's like a newer version of Phone Guy. What? Oh, it might be Phone Dude from FNAF 3. It might be Phone Dude.
Turns out, people are scared of loose bears. Who would have thunk it? Of course, this fear wasn't for nothing. Ferdinand was caught dining on a local restaurant owner,
What time is it? It's 1:10.
and he fled
A lot of my shorts have been failing recently. Anyway, so what's happening with the dead chef?
from the crime
Don't go, we're desperate, Hurricane Utah.
scene before law enforcement could get to him. William and Henry realized they had been a slight bit overzealous with their first creation. Good thing is, literally nobody knew or cared who they were, so they got away with this scot-free. Later that month, they designed an animatronic simply based on Ferdinand's likeness. This character was quite a downgrade, being both simpler and stupider. This didn't matter to the duo.
Stupid. What, you gave it sentience again? You shouldn't be doing this, Joe. Just bolt its feet to the floor. Why do you let it walk?
Though, as they loved their creation, and with that, Fredbear was born. At first, they had nowhere to actually put him, so they opted for the dump. He was truly a diamond in the rough. Amazingly, this attempt at entertainment was amusing enough to the citizens of Hurricane that they gave William and Henry enough money to afford a recently vacated diner space. Fredbear was going to be a star. Unfortunately, this animatronic was extremely poorly designed, and their attempts at granting him artificial intelligence quickly
AI in the early 1980s. Yeah. We just started having advanced AI like a couple months ago, but no. About 50 years ago. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Wow. We are 2 minutes in to the actual video. How many minutes in are we to our video? We're 10 minutes in. Yep.
Unfortunately, this animatronic
We have 3 videos to go through. And I really don't want to split this into any more parts. I want to be done with this.
was extremely poorly designed, and their attempts at granting him artificial intelligence quickly turned sour. On February 31st, 1983, his first performance on stage in front of children prompted him to spontaneously combust from a nervous breakdown.
What?
William and Henry
What kind of... What proof? What is there a FNAF book I'm missing, huh? Or maybe an Into the Pit. Maybe an Into the Pit that you can go back even more further. You just put the firecracker inside of Fredbear instead of throwing it at Freddy. Put it inside. Blow it up. Ah!
back down to ensure this would never happen again. This also prompted William to threaten the United States government.
Huh? What? You threatened the United States government? Yeah, story time. One time, like, I don't know if it was my grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, he wrote a note to the President of the United States demanding that he fly his wife and, like, a child home from another country. It obviously didn't work.
And they met his demands to strike February
They met his demands?
31st from the calendar forever.
February 31st from the calendar. Wait, February 3rd. Don't tell me you're gonna do it 2 more times.
After that, they set their sights on making something with no flaws. But then they made Springlock suits. In an attempt to both ease the animatronics' nerves and not allow them their legally required breaks, Henry and William created mechanisms that could lock the endoskeleton parts to the inner edges of the suit for a person to climb inside and cover for the character. For extra safety precautions, they created a partner for the new Fredbear 2.0 to ease his nerves. For some reason, the best name they came up with for Fredbear's partner was Spring Bonnie. William was insistent on this name, and Henry felt too threatened.
I mean, what do you think children are gonna I don't think his name's actually officially Spring Bonnie. Cause Golden Freddy was called Yellow Bear originally in the FNAF game files, and that's like his actual canon name. Like Golden Freddy's just like a surname that was given to him by Markiplier, but his real name's Yellow Bear, so I would assume the other one is called Yellow Rabbit or Yellow Bunny.
To argue against it. With a safety
Maybe Yellow Hair?
precautions ended, however, was the fact that the spring locks holding the endoskeleton pieces away from a person's vital organs were made out of paper clips, and the lightest...
What? Spring locks are a real thing, I'm pretty sure. This one YouTuber, I think I don't know his channel, I think it was like Chickpea Show or something? Or the Chip Tide or something? I don't know. And he bought a real spring lock, and it's not even dangerous at all.
These could set them off. Truly brilliant inventors, those two. The dynamic duo had now created a dynamic duo. William was the only one who had the nerve to actually test the Springlock suit, and it turned out he enjoyed dancing around as a yellow rabbit a little too much. Henry was unbothered
Furry.
by this, though, as William was still perfectly capable of handling their finances in character. A few months had gone by, and Fredbear's Family Diner was an absolute success. Not only were Fredbear and Spring Bonnie beloved by the now...
Another Minecraft version, Utah's Fair Diner, Fredbear's Family Diner, and then just a bunch of blocks outside. Midnight Motors reference! Wow.
Population of Utah, William even managed to lock in a deal with a low-budget
What is wrong with his neck in this photo? Why? This is his neck, which is already severely broken. Now this is his new neck. What? Fredbear's and Friends.
Animation studio in order to make a cartoon called Fredbear and Friends. The one downside, though, was the studio needed more characters and they refused any more yellow ones. Out of obligation, Leopold, Theodore, Mirabella, and Fox.
What's Leopold, Theodore, Mirabella, and Foxy? That is yellow. That is yellow. That purple guy, I didn't know he put himself in the show. Only people who've been there to my channel since day one know that reference.
They were created. No, Mirabella's not yellow. She's Xanthophyll.
No, that is yellow. That is the same color as Fredbear. So
we're just seeing things.
You could have just made a brown chicken or a white chicken. White chicken would have looked better, just like Funtime Chica.
Surely these blights to everything William and Henry stood for would never see the light of day in any other context. William and Henry were at their peak, and William finally regained custody of his children.
Why did he lose custody? What is wrong with his neck? Now it's broken in 3 places. 1, 2, 3. What is wrong with him?
However, one of his sons, whose name has been stricken from the record, waltzed into the back room of Fredbear's.
Oh yeah, I'll just call the government again. They'll help me. Don't pee on floors. Management, no.
And saw Fredbear smoking a cigar.
What? It's probably an employee inside the suit. Your spit. It's gonna kill you one day.
Fredbear's blatant nonchalance about his respiratory health was truly traumatizing for the child. In a panic, the child...
Nah, in the early 1980s, everybody was smoking. Nobody cared about their health.
started to run out the door, but accidentally tripped over the foot of Spring
That would let the spring locks loose.
Bonnie. Unbeknownst to him, the animatronic was being worn by Harold the janitor, and this collision was enough to snap open the flimsy spring locks and impale Harold.
It wouldn't snap open all the spring locks. It would just snap open the spring locks in the leg. But, going through his bones would probably make him flinch enough to snap off all of them, actually.
Every which way. Harold's soul, heartbroken by his untimely demise and his boss's backup fursuit, transformed into pure agony, and he became a shadow creature.
Actually, it should be Toy Bonnie. Not Spring Bonnie.
He gave himself a really cool name, but unfortunately he never learned how to
I know all of them, Afton. Well, no.
spell, so it came out like this.
He never learned how to spell. Yeah, I should have been a politician, but I know. I like that. I don't really like that song, to be honest. Anyways. Hi, my name is RWQFS, RWQFSFASXC.
Shockingly okay with witnessing this occur, the child went home and invited his older brother, Michael, to play a game of Uno with him. However, there
Oh, yep, there's our answer. Yeah. That is normal. Yeah, so his neck used to be broken in 2 places, then it was broken in 3 places. Now it is broken in 1, 2, presumably 3 places, because this is off-centered from that. Maybe it's like some refraction stuff, but we will assume the best for him and assume that it's just really crooked. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 places. And in the TV, it is broken One, two, three again. All right. And he's playing a game of Uno. That is actually 2 cards, so it'd be considered dose, mister. I have an Uno deck. How many cards are on there? I'm gonna check. No, actually, I'll take too much time away from this, 4-hour video. Never mind.
It's foul play. This child was actually just a terrible human being and slid extra cards into the deck.
How it's sliding extra cards? Okay, yeah, I guess you could rig it if, you have, a younger sibling, and you could, trick them into, think it, you could, say I already shuffled the cards, and then rig them, so when you pass them out, you get all the good cards, and they get no wild cards. But, anybody, with half a brain would be like, okay, well, let's shuffle them again.
Michael to draw 4.
That his wife? It's just kind of weird. Why is she screaming?
8 turns
Okay, so this
in a
makes
row.
me not.
Enraged, Michael threw on a foxy mask.
This makes me not feel bad for the crying child anymore. Look at that smug look on his face. I just want to punch him. I just want to start strangling him. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. What's that weird thing going on with your hair? Yep.
And started screeching at the child. The child, annoyed by his behavior, decided to humor Mike until he got bored of doing this and pretended to sob 24/7.
What? So it was fake. Now I feel even less bad for him. Then why would he have the nightmares? Why would he have the nightmares if he wasn't even actually scared? Just fake it till you make it? Placebo effect? What is this?
Maybe, just maybe, this would guilt trip him. However, Michael was far more resilient than the child anticipated, and this behavior kept going for a whole week. The child, craving literally anything else to do with his time, walked into Fredbear's again in an attempt to face his fears before getting cornered by Trevor the cashier.
I thought you said that you don't have fears. What? You said you weren't scared of the animatronics.
Here wearing a Fredbear suit. The child saw the reasoning for this, as Trevor was holding a gnat for a mediocre dentist's office in his hand, and so...
No, I thought it was a romantic office. I thought it was a floss.
The child deliberately ran into Trevor to set off the spring locks in his suit.
You just murdered him in cold blood! There's no repercussions. Somebody call the government and tell them to remove this kid entirely.
Trevor's spirit, a bit relieved by the matter in all honesty, turned into a more chill shadow creature that just kind of...
No. No, it's a painful death. An extremely painful death where your lungs get punctured, fill up with blood, while your limbs and bones are replaced by metal encasings, and you go blind because the suit's eyes are shoved into your own, and you can't even scream because your vocal cords get skewed by sharp wires going through them, and it's going to take several minutes for you to just painfully be punctured by several small metal rods. Now, it wouldn't be so bad if the suit wasn't filled with cross beams, wires, and animatronic devices.
Walked around convincing people to join his concubine. The child returned home, completely okay with the fact he just killed a man, and
and you're happy, you're smiling about it, you're doing a good, okay. Wait, here, we can compare what yellows, I know, let's just pass over the fact that he killed somebody. Anyways, so let's look at Fredbear. Probably don't have to zoom in, we could just see. Yeah, Chica seems to be clearly different, but I would argue that this is yellow, and then this would be, kind of a different color. Here, he's just chilling, he killed somebody.
told his Fredbear plushie everything he did.
Yeah. Well, I guess we, yeah. Oh, wow.
Eagles watching. Better with Pepsi.
No. Alright, we're back. Honestly, Pepsi's not even all too good. I prefer Sierra Mist over Sprite before they turned into Starry. It's just like a corn syrup mixture now. No, Sierra Mist, why? You got replaced by like a spicy artist. I don't get it.
Bear plushie, everything he did.
Yeah, well, I guess we know why William doesn't want him closing doors in Midnight Motorist.
The next day, Michael and his Uno buddies barged into the...
His Uno buddies. Oh yeah, guess what? I was watching a YouTube short, and somebody stole my idea. I guess not stole. I wouldn't say they probably don't know who I am. Honestly, I only have 5K subscribers. They have like thousands. They probably don't know who I am, but like they had the same idea as me, where like each of the new games is like following the story of these. Like Foxy Bro, obviously it's like the entire FNAF franchise. Then this is Help Wanted 2. This is Into the Pit. Then Secrets of the Mimic is gonna be this guy.
child's room to take him to Fredbear's for his birthday. The child was still committing to the crying act, but this was a bad idea as it just made them come up with the idea of shoving him in Fredbear's mouth. So, that's exactly what they did. They mockingly told the child to give Fredbear a big kiss, which the animatronic took immediate notice of. This was a very dangerous situation for his career, so without thinking, Fredbear clamped down his jaw on the child's skull.
Was that the bite of 87?
This terrified Michael and his friends for about 5 seconds.
Now, as soon as you see a bite, as soon as you see that, everybody just agrees that you have to say, is that the bite of 87, or else you get canceled.
Until the child hopped out of it unscathed. Turns out...
What? Did you see that photo? His entire skull is crushed! What is this timeline? Okay, I'm getting my remnant in a twist right now. I am getting my remnant in a twist. What do you mean? He hopped out. Yeah, he's fine. He is fine. He is A-okay. He is being chilling. Yeah. If you remember that, if you've been here since FNAF 1, wow. That meme's like 5 years old, and yet I still use it. I have not been using like the regular memes from the early days lately, you know, like the Cupcakes Purple Guy, Big Chilling, the quest to find manga or anime or whatever. I did eventually get a free trial for Crunchyroll. Also, if you've been wondering what anime I was trying to watch this literally entire time for years, it was Demon Slayer, but they didn't have it. And I'm talking this in this really weird pitch of voice, and I feel like I could stop it, but I don't really have the energy to, because I honestly don't even care, because the fact that he just got out is just so weird. Why? Where's the proof at all? Like, why?
William and Henry gave the animatronics rubber teeth. Great safety feature.
Oh yeah, that's honestly a smart idea for once. You know, it would have been even smarter if you didn't install them with a professional kill mechanism.
The child was livid and threatened to do the drop again. Like, didn't really...
What? Do the drop again? Come on, we want to the correct thing.
As Trevor
I don't want this. Where is the...
For his career.
Here it is, look.
So without thinking, Fredbear...
You think he's fine? You think he is fine? Look at that. Was that the bite 80...
clamped down his jaw on the child's skull. This terrified Michael and his friends for about 5 seconds, until the child hopped out of it unscathed. Turns out, William...
I guess that's why it faded away when it showed, because they didn't want to... Scott didn't want us to see that he actually survived the entire time. Wait. What? Wait. Oh. What? Wait. What if, the entire time, what if, the cry child is Michael? What if that's the truth? But then we lose Foxy Bro's name. But what if it wasn't even his brother? What if he's just a guy breaking into the house?
Henry gave the animatronics rubber teeth.
Why am I doing a Scottish voice now?
Great safety feature. The child was livid and threatened to do the drop again.
Do the drop. I need closed captions right now. What do you mean, do the drop again? I'm so confused.
Turns out, William and Henry gave the animatronics rubber teeth. Great safety feature. The child was livid and threatened to do the drop again.
Do the job again. What job? The Uno? I'm so you're a brat. You are a brat. You know that.
Mike didn't really know what this meant, but it sounded scary enough.
Do the job. Yeah, me neither. Me and you too, Mike. Me and you too. So wait, if this isn't... So if you're not trying to say that Michael is a crime child, why are you doing this?
For his buddy Jeremy Fitzgerald II to knock the child unconscious with a chair.
What? Wait, are you implying that this kid will grow up to be Jeremy Fitzgerald? I mean, he is probably like 13 now compared to his size, and then plus, if this is 1983, 13, and then plus 4, that's 17. That's about the age that you start working. All right. I don't really get how you could be doing school since it is November when the game takes place. I don't really know how you'd be doing school and staying up till 6 a.m. Like, you finish your shift and then you get ready for school. You go to school, then you do your homework, then you don't sleep, and then you go to work.
This only distressed Michael more, so he rushed the child to the hospital where he was diagnosed with
Just a small brain injury.
a mild concussion.
He would have been fine. What is wrong with you, Jeremy Fitzgerald? Alright, man, honestly, I'm not mad at you because you did get karma later by getting your head chomped off, so I guess you're fine.
When the child awoke, he looked at Michael and told him that he never existed. When Michael asked
What? Oh, yeah. Wait, my wish came true. The government got rid of the child. Wow.
what that was supposed to mean, the child fused with him and turned a little bit
Okay, well, I guess he said something weird twice in it. Wait, where did he go?
paler. This was just a very...
He's white now? What? Wait. It is dead silent right now. I'm so confused. What do you mean? What? Where is the correct do the job again? So what is do the job? Do I still have captions on? No, I don't.
When the child awoke, he looked at Michael and told him that he never existed. When Michael asked what that was supposed to mean, the child fused with him and turned a little bit paler.
White boy ification? What? He's white now. Why? What do you mean? What? I don't even understand this. I really don't. What do you mean? This is... Honestly, like, I am getting my remnant in a twist right now.
This was just a very bad day for Michael. When he went to tell William about it, William had no clue what he meant by little brother. He told Mike to stop making up stories, trash that disrespectful mask, and take up engineering. This sounded good enough for him, so that's what he did. But, turns out, the employees at Fredbear's called the police because Harold and Trevor's bodies were just laying on the floor, and nobody cared to do anything about it.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, don't worry. Just call the government and have these two removed from any record. Wait. The janitor is dead. Who put up the wet floor sign? Alright, guys, I'll see you in the next part. No, we're gonna finish all 3 parts today, even though we're like 30 minutes in.
But it until right then. So, the restaurant was shut down.
Oh my god. We're 8 minutes into the video. How many are we into our video? And we have 3 more parts. No way. How many are... Guys. You're over 30 minutes into our video. And you're 8 minutes into his video. In a 30-minute video. And there's 3 more 30-minute videos to go.
And the news media blamed it on the fight of '83 in order to abruptly end Fredbear.
Okay, well, I guess in Help Wanted, it turns out it's all just, the first 7 were just games. So I guess so.
His career. They were just jealous. William and Henry were back to square one because of the abundant controversy and...
Wait, if he didn't exist, who was the Bite of 83 victim? It was originally the Bite of 87, and then they used that Jeremy Fitzgerald Bite of 87 to cover up the Bite of 83!
Investigations, they laid low for a couple of years.
They traded hats.
But in 1985, they finally opened a new location, With the amount of money they had earned from Fredbear's, they were luckily capable of buying out a new restaurant space with ease. Unfortunately,
Alright, I guess just rebrand.
Fredbear was public.
This is Fazbear Entertainment's motto. If you close, just rebrand. And if you close for the final time, just wait 30 years, someone will make an attraction, and for some reason that will start up the entire process again. Like, how do you go from literally not existing for 30 years to building a mega pizzaplex?
Executed 2 years prior. So, William and Henry did the unthinkable. They made animatronics of the cartoon characters they had made out of reluctantness.
Wow, this is what the Wizards are. Purple guy and Cupcake and Purple guy in the same room? This is impossible. Wait. This is the same shade of pink that it was in the Foxy Go-Go Girl minigame. Alright guys, we actually have to catch up on some time right now, so I'm probably not going to pause it for a while.
Necessity. Leopold was their immediate decision for the new mascot, as he was actually a bear. He wasn't golden, but he would do. But that name didn't exactly resonate with the public, so after 5 seconds of brainstorming, they renamed.
In the 1983 TV show, doesn't it literally show a picture of Freddy with Freddy next to the name? Why? I am getting my remnant in a total twist right now.
Freddy Fazbear. The initial plan was for him to be partnered with Spring Bonnie, but William refused to work with any type of grizzly that wasn't golden. So, Henry opted to rebrand Theodore to simply Bonnie, and that worked well enough. However, making these two characters so derivative of their superior counterparts worried Henry and William, as the public could possibly see through their ruse. So, they added another character to the band to distract people. Mirabella.
You already had Mirabella before.
Given the fact that she didn't have overtly feminine characteristics, though, Henry...
Is that a problem, Mr. Oof Troop? Is that a problem? Someone's gonna get exposed. Toy Chica exposed simulator.
William renamed her Chica to make sure any Spanish speakers knew she was a girl. There was one last cartoon character they could use, being Foxy the Pirate.
That's his security breach cardboard cutout design.
Gimmick that the Fredbear and Friends show added to drive up ratings.
Oh yeah, you made him less pirate. I feel like he gets more pirate-ish throughout the years. Like in FNAF 1, he literally just had a hook and an eye patch. In FNAF 2, he had like a more rustic look, and he also had only an eye patch and his hook. FNAF 3 doesn't really count at all, but FNAF's dislocation completely destroyed him. Also, I was today years old when I realized that FNAF's dislocation was called dislocation because it was the dislocation Fredbear's Family Diner instead of it being because it was all girls. I don't even know why, because Funtime Foxy and Funtime Freddy are all boys. But then again, Funtime Foxy could be a girl in that time because he doesn't speak. Then Funtime Freddy could technically be considered girl since his hand puppet, because he's a hand puppet variant of Bon Bon. And also, why isn't Funtime Freddy considered in the Dolls Attack thing? Because he has a doll and you never actually see Funtime Freddy. And why isn't Circus Baby in the custom night? I get why Ennard isn't, because he had its own night, but also he should technically be in there because it'd be nice to have him with other characters. But then again, he's so hard. Like he has his entire own mechanics, and he isn't even all that interesting. It just closed the door. So I get why they removed him for mechanics, but they could have made that for Circus Baby. They could have just included it. Why do you need Mini Arena 2? Mini Arena 2? Oh yeah, everybody is begging for Mini Arena 2.
It was fun.
I actually need to just let the video play. We have so much more to go, guys. I'm probably not going to be able to make another short until like 7 o'clock at night. But hey, you guys would rather have a giant mega video than like 8 crappy shorts, right? Okay.
And with the concept, but William hated it. For the time being, the partners settled on shoving him in the corner of the building, far away from the 3 they actually tolerated. After opening the location, however, the 2 quickly realized that children didn't actually care about the 3 stage performers. Something about theming being more interesting. As more and more children flocked around Foxy's Pirate Cove, William immediately ran up and kicked the poor animatronic in the kneecaps. This put him out of order for the time being, and William tore him up after closing to ensure it would stay that way.
Why? You don't like money? Your ego is too strong, man. Your ego is too strong. You only care about animatronic animals that are once yellow. Bonnie, Freddy, and Chica. You don't like red. Red. Oh, yeah, but you actually do like red because of the blood stains on the carpet. Michael Jackson. Yeah. I'm not much of a Michael Jackson fan, to be honest. Like, he's alright, but like, no. I've been pretty sick lately. I am rambling on and on and on. Yeah, I have been, speaking of rambling, I've been thinking of playing Indigo Park recently. No, okay, I'm just gonna let the video play. I'm gonna stop talking. You know what? I'll just embrace it. I'm not gonna be sleeping till like 3 a.m. tonight.
Somehow this didn't scare anyone away, and everyone just immediately piled back over to watch Freddy sing about bullfighting. Henry and William were truly living the life. They lost their beloved golden animals, sure, but they were still happy. That is, until one fateful day.
Hey, can I borrow $5? Yeah, sure.
Well, not actually this specific day. It was 2 days after this that things fell to pieces. William, after a long day of work, was extremely hungry. You may be wondering why he didn't just eat dinner at Freddy's, but truth be told, he hated the pizza there. They blew all their budget on good tablecloth.
Well, yeah, well, the cheese is so real, right? FNAF 6 vibes. Gotta have a good atmosphere, though, so yeah, I understand the tablecloths.
So, instead, he opted to drive down to
Drive to the bar.
local rundown Carl's Jr. on that fateful...
Oh, Carl's Jr. I know that in the East Coast, they call it Hardee's here. I'm pretty sure in the South it is Carl's Jr., but yeah, it's called Hardee's where we are.
rainy Tuesday.
I don't even have a Hardee's near me. I just know that from the one Mr. Beast video, where he drives 1,000 times. Mr. Beast is getting canceled right now, low-key. Because, like, I heard that, like, the Lunchly thing is kind of failing. And he also set up, like, illegal lotteries.
Night. Hello, I'd like an original Angus burger and a large Coca-Cola.
That'll be $5, please.
This was the
Oh, is that why Squidward was on the shelf? I remember everything. I can recall stuff from what should be 10 minutes and 43 seconds ago, but is actually 40 minutes ago.
moment that William Afton snapped. Where are my $5?
Yeah, your $5 are actually with Lefty right now.
In a fit of rage, William spent
Henry used the $5 to buy a new animatronic. That'll get you like $1,000.
1 mile over the speed limit and
1 mile over the speed. I'm pretty sure 200. If it's 1 mile over the speed limit and it said 61, that means the speed limit is 60. So it's actually 140 miles over the speed limit.
pulled up at Freddy's to enact revenge on Henry. However, by pure chance, Henry's daughter Charlie was locked out of the building.
So this is implying that the puppet is here. Nobody ever mentioned the puppet. Did Henry use the $5 to buy a puppet? I mean, realistically, if Lefty plus the puppet is $5, the puppet should probably be like $2.50. So yeah, I guess so. Well, you better go get your 2.50 change back, William. Go inside there.
William, attempting to help her back in,
Oh, yep, help her back in.
looked at her in the eyes trying to explain his plight. However, with the rage in his heart at that very moment, his mere stare was a death sentence. Charlie flopped over.
Ooh! I had to take a moment to so in this timeline, the undeniably canon one, William isn't a murderer. He was literally trying to help her get out of the rain so she won't be cold. Nah, he looked at her, then died. This doesn't even give him any bad motives. It was just an honest mistake that shouldn't even be probable. This is virtually impossible. Not even virtually impossible. Impossible. Now, when you say that, I always say almost impossible, because I don't think that anything is impossible, but listen, this is impossible. You can't look at someone and then kill them. Like, what is this? Okay, the puppet made it out of the box. I mean, pretty much the only bad thing he did here was, like, fleeing a crime scene. Could you even call this a crime scene and just an honest mistake? To be honest, no one would believe him, though. But wait, the autopsy, there would be no drugs in her, and no, like, bruises, beat marks, or anything, or cuts. Like, what is he, this is not undeniably canon.
William, panicking over this murder, threw her in the alley next to the restaurant and drove off before anyone could see
Oh, your handprints are on it now.
what had happened. After this, the restaurant security puppet, designed to keep track of the children assigned to it, walked out of the building to find Charlie. When it got to her body, her soul grew an attachment to the character, and she stuck around in hopes a new body
So why is Puppet even mad at him? He was trying to help her inside. She's just a little scaredy cat wimp.
would be made so she could fuse with it. You'd expect for this to be the end, but the sudden realization his true power gave William an idea. With his instantaneous death stare, he could quickly and quietly send a horrible message to Henry.
Alright, well this isn't even his fault. Like, it's not like he's like brutally murdering children. He could just look at people then kill them. Honestly, this is a superpower. I want a superhero movie. And I want to call it The Man Behind the Stare.
He circled back around to Freddy's and made a beeline toward the safe room that contained the retired Springlock suits. He quickly equipped his spring bodysuit and darted around the restaurant telling kids that their dead dogs were alive in the safe room with
Amazing. Is Sparky in there? I didn't know Sparky was in there.
Man Jenkins. None of them actually had dogs, but they all assumed that they'd managed to get a free one anyway. Of course, they realized very quickly.
Okay, yeah, he's taking out all the spoiled brats. First, he took out Crying Child. Well, technically not. I guess he saved Crying Child, actually. Shame on you. He's making up for his mistake by killing triple brats. Alright? Like, people think that they're gonna... Like, you realize it's someone's dog, right? And you're stealing it. Like, they could have gotten their dog back, but you just get a free one? Yeah, brats. Kill them with their stare.
They were conned. William waltzed into the safe room.
Yeah, kill all the brats. You are actually making a difference in this world. Yeah.
5 total children inside, but before he could do anything, the child named Cassidy kicked him in the shins so hard it knocked the pink out of him. Luckily, he...
Oh, I guess he's purple now. Wait, shouldn't he be pink still? Because he hasn't killed children with Foxy yet?
duct taped the spring locks to the edges of his suit.
What? Alright, never mind. I was gonna start flipping out because I was gonna be like, what do you mean you duct tape it to the suit? The spring locks are so strong it would cut right through the duct tape. And what did people notice? The entire design of the spring lock suits is to so you could double purpose it. Someone would notice that they can't change it and they don't have spares because the money was the issue. But actually, no. Because, I guess the spring locks were retired at this point. I've watched this video before, like 8 years ago. So I guess my memory was a bit foggy, and I thought this was back when Fredbear's Family Diner was still open. Yeah, so that's my fault. That's my fault. Also, didn't they say that Fredbear was executed? How was there a Fredbear suit in there? Unless it was the real bear.
So they couldn't go off. But he was still made livid by this attempt on his life, so he stared down each one and took them out.
You just stare at them, and he's not doing anything wrong. He's not doing anything wrong. Actually, you know what? I think that the cupcake is doing good work here. Yes, I said the cupcake. I don't care if he's purple guy.
William wondered if perhaps he had gone overboard with his evil deeds, but figured that 5 children for $5 was a reasonable.
Yeah, I'd say so. Actually, it's 5 children. 5 children killed for 5 brats brutally killed over 1 brat dying peacefully. I think that's a fair trade.
Trade-off. As a disclaimer to all of you at home, murder is bad.
Murder is not bad. He didn't do anything wrong. He just stared at them. Staring at people is bad. Sure, it's impolite. I can stare at you and kill you. Come on, you know you can't be here. Don't make it this more difficult than it has to be. Just stare at him. Stare at the bar bouncer, then you can walk. I guess this isn't a bar on this time. I guess it's a Carl's Jr. Why'd you get kicked out of a Carl's Jr. for not having the money? It's like that one, you remember that one SpongeBob game that was really popular? Where you were like, oh, I don't have my money, and Squidward was like, you don't have the money? And then Mr. Krabs walks up to you and then traps you in a room, and you have to run away from SpongeBob. And there was like a secret Shrek ending. Yeah, and then the copyright got claimed, so he had to make all of the creatures, SpongeBob creatures, into actual just what they are. So it was just a bunch of crabs, sponges, and like the one fish that would scream is just a random fish. And it was a very bad game after the update. So yeah.
Meanwhile, a drunk man named Dave Miller had just been turned away from juniors and drove home. He was...
Oh, this makes so much sense. Dave Miller is the orange man, mustard man. But wait, if Mustard Man is also the cupcake, wouldn't that tie him back to Purple Guy? Also, I saw a theory from someone in the comments. His name's like Purple Guy PW or something. I forgot his name. Shout out to him. He changed his profile picture to Springtrap from the movie. I barely recognize him. Anyways. He thinks that this is Henry. Now, by this point in the timeline, if Henry was sitting right there, Springtrap would have walked right over and stared at him.
Terrible father and insisted on invading his son's privacy for the heinous act of the boy, locking his door. The boy, whose name was Andrew, broke his window and left the house. Turns out, Trevor the cashier, at this point dubbing himself Shadow Freddy, convinced Andrew to participate in his conga line to Freddy's. Unfortunately, Shadow Freddy's favorite spot to wrap up his conga lines was the safe room, and the two just...
Oh, I thought that it would have been... In my last year, I said that Andrew was actually the kid of him, and then it was actually Henry in the game. That was his wife, and then he was basically leaving, and then the save him minigame is Andrew being killed, and then him speeding home is unrelated. No, because it's Henry and Purple Guy on the same night. So while Henry, the abusive father, is worrying about, not worrying, just waiting to beat him, waiting to beat Andrew when he gets home, while Purple Guy is waiting to stab Andrew outside of the restaurant. Then after he kills Andrew, he walks inside of the restaurant that kills all the 6 children inside, as you could see in the minigame. And that is the Save Them minigame. And then Puppet and Shadow Freddy, Puppet and Freddy, the Freddy from the minigame that saw all this, the Puppet and Freddy work together, and they walk to get to there, and they kill him. Or I guess they don't kill him, but Freddy gets destroyed. So I think it's like the 2 siblings working together, because maybe Andrew, maybe that's the right thing, and maybe since the books aren't directly canonized, it's Gabriel, who is the son of Henry, and that's why he said the wound the first blood out on me instead of the first, because Chica would have been the first, because it's his dark Charlotte is the puppet, then the puppet is crying child.
So happened to come in as William finished stuffing 4 of the children into the animatronic suits. William, surprised by his sudden extra child, accidentally gave him the death stare, and now he was left with an extra body to
Okay, that's not even his fault. He literally did it as an accident this time, so...
stuff. And to make things more inconvenient, there weren't any more characters to pick from. This, however, is when he realized that he could just stuff both Cassidy and Andrew into the Fredbear suit. William knew nobody actually wore the thing, so he was certain it would go completely unnoticed. After this, he left the building like nothing happened, and drove home to sleep in his safe and comfy Spring Bonnie pajama suit. It was getting to be an obsession. After this point, Henry was very obviously devastated.
Drinking.
However, he had no idea who actually did it. The cameras were broken, and the only accusations were that someone did it while in a mascot costume. Police promptly arrested a man from a completely unrelated pizzeria.
Poor Popgo.
Fortunately, Freddy's didn't get shut down for this, and Henry attempted to keep things going for a while. William had sent him a letter saying he was off on vacation for the time being, so Henry was left to handle finances on his lonesome. But, people...
The $5! It's there! I see it! I saw it!
People rapidly started losing interest at Freddy's. The animatronic smelled horrible, and everyone finally noticed just how bad the pizza tasted. So, by year's end, the restaurant shut down. Henry decided to take a break from it all, and when William returned from vacation, he realized he could seize this opportunity and make a pizzeria with complete creative control. His daughter, Elizabeth, served as the perfect muse, and he proceeded to make an animatronic that looked nothing like her.
Alright, so he's a genius now, apparently? Was his vacation to Harvard or something? Who takes a vacation to Harvard, though?
He named it...
We're 14 minutes in. How long are we into our video? We are just under an hour into our video, and we are 14 minutes into his video. We have 3 more parts left.
It's Circus Baby. Don't ask why, it's not elaborated on. However, after telling Elizabeth all about this animatronic, he suddenly got the idea to use Baby for
How much is his neck broken now? 1, 2, 3. Alright, say 1. Oh, only 2 places. I guess he got better.
a different purpose than simple entertainment. William had recently noticed the animatronics from the closed Freddy's location acting strange, and upon further investigation, he discovered a substance that he called Remnant.
Just discovered it. Yep. Yeah, I discovered the rapture of human. Yeah, okay, so William went from, like, pretty technologically advanced, from, like, you know, creating, like, brain chips that we don't even have, advanced AI, which we just got, and then, like working, like, super moving robots that can do anything, which, like, is even more advanced than, like, the Osmo robot that Toyota made, like, 20 years ago, so, like, he's doing pretty well for himself, but I think he's even more ahead of his time than we will be in 30. He's not even, like, a super genius anymore. He is a sorcerer.
His new idea entailed having Baby and a new set of animatronics themed after her work together in order to collect more Remnant from children. So, he made Funtime Freddy and Bon Bon for easy marketing appeal. Then, he finally remade Foxy in his own vision, stripping all of that filthy pirate gimmick from him and making him a lovely coat of white and pink.
I think he's like a theater kid now.
Funtime Foxy was superior in every way, and his lack of
His tail! Well, his tail definitely makes him superior, though.
originality meant that nobody would prefer her over the characters William actually wanted people to like. Finally, William made a character named Ballora. This one wasn't made for murder purposes so much as it was made out of contempt. For who? His ex-wife, Eleanor Schmidt.
Eleanor I thought that was supposed to be a pun, like Ella divorced. But then I realized it doesn't. Makes a comeback. Hey, yo, what you doing tonight? No.
He craved to make an animatronic that was better at ballet than her. She was an accountant, so this was easy. However, upon coming to William's house to pick up Elizabeth for a week, Eleanor saw what he was building. Angered by the fact that this character was better at ballet than her, a woman.
How much is his neck broken now? Seems to be worse. 1, 2, 3. Alright, 3 again. Wait, no, 1, 2. Alright, he healed. His neck is fine. Okay, wait, it seems to be, it's not completely healed, alright? It seems to be like a bit it's not broken, but it seems to be a bit fractured, so at least it's not, like, completely fine. Hey, what you doing tonight? Hey, no.
And who never once thought about it until right then, she fused with Ballora in a fit of rage, and now William was stuck.
What? Can you just fuse with an animatronic? What did it say?
With a robot wife that existed. So, by year's end, for a week, Eleanor saw what he was building.
So wait, let me get this straight. How do you just fuse with an animatronic whenever you want to? It's 2:00. Oh my god, we started before 1. So you just fuse with an animatronic whenever you want to?
Angered by the fact
I'm so confused how that works. Oh, he covered her face with Henry's face. Well, I guess you gotta cover Henry's face with someone else's face, because you obviously don't like Henry anymore.
that this character was better at ballet than her.
Oh, yeah, it fell. The little notepad. Is this picture just an animatronic? That's kind of weird. So, she's fused with the with Ballora. That is weird. I'm pretty sure you gotta do, like, remnant stuff. I don't know. Hey, your hips are pretty thick. No, not good.
A woman who never once thought about it until right then, she fused with Ballora in a fit of rage.
Yeah, in a fit of rage, alright. Well, I guess that makes sense, because, like, Agony is, like, separate from Remnant, I guess.
And now William was stuck with a robot wife that danced around his workshop every day. But, no matter. William secured a building to open this brand new sister location of Freddy's named...
His neck is normal. Okay. Oh, thank God it's not. Alright, it's even. It looks pretty broken. It's broken in one place. Alright, well, before it was broken, it was fractured in one place, which is even dangerously close to being normal, but at least it's broken in one place now.
Circus Baby's Pizza World, and progress was going smoothly. He had some test runs of the pizzeria, and let some groups of people come there early for birthday parties. But this plan quickly turned sour as Elizabeth joined a party and ignored his specific demands not to see Baby. To William's surprise, children don't listen to you if you say not to play with something they want. As a result, Baby's murder equipment activated as soon as Elizabeth was alone with her. William instantly shut down development on the
Nukes the pizzeria. That was millions of dollars, billions of dollars of technological advancements in there.
restaurant. He was very distraught over this, which maybe he should have considered before trying to murder more children. Despite the local population being
Ooh, that looks bad. It's like curving backwards. Ooh. It's broken in 1, 2, 3 places. No, it's broken in 2 places, but then the front end is like very skewed up.
completely confused by the sudden turn of events, William blamed
Guy who vigilantly blew up his restaurant and claims it has gas
on
leaks.
gas leaks and never spoke of it, and instead went back to Henry for them to start work on a new Freddy's location.
How much next broken? This is like a new keeping track of. Okay, broken in 1, 2. All right, same as usual. I think our last record was in that photo where it kept going.
For a while, they planned on just
Okay, you are lucky that is not a Springlock suit, my friend. Yeah.
fixing up the old animatronics from the previous location and scrubbing them down to fix the odor problem. However, William caught sight of Foxy and formed a new idea in his head out of pure hatred. He told Henry his idea for the new design philosophy of the animatronics he had in mind. He introduced a newfangled plastic finish, flashy makeup, and to top it all off, William unleashed his newfound obsession with prefixes and dubbed them toy animatronics. In order to further justify this decision, he also proposed bringing back the security puppet character as just a normal marionette, and finally created the hero of this universe, Balloon Boy. Getting all of that out of the way, William went straight to explaining to Henry why Foxy needed to be white and pink. And with that, the new face of Freddy's was underway.
That reminds me of the Funko set where Fixed Mangled would call Funtime Foxy, and they tried to justify it because of like the FNAF World thing. Even though it was probably just like an accidental leak for the sister location, so Scott was like, "Oh, we gotta cover up for this.
The location opened in 1987 with a lot of good press.
Oh my god, it is how no. Oh my god, why? It's so late.
People were flocking to it. Why did they put so much trust in this new location? Simple. Henry and William advertised that there would no longer be terrible pizza. This is because they got rid of the kitchen. This restaurant had no food.
I finally understand this once I watched this one guy's ranking how much I would want to have a birthday at a FNAF location, and there was no places there. The same reporter that's been there past 3 times.
You'd think this would be a problem, but kids really like to go there for the characters alone. And by characters, I mean character. As even despite William's every last effort of making Foxy relevant, the kids now flocked to Toy Foxy's Kids Cove to tear him apart and put her back together.
I guess they hate her so much, but he gave her a pirate teeth? That's stupid.
Well, they could make him look better, but without technical experience, she looked less like a pirate and more like a metal tumbleweed. William had now found a new rage spurred by Foxy's mere existence, and so he enacted a second missing children's incident to cripple
There's a camera there. Bruh.
restaurant success. This time, however, Henry had been paying attention. He saw the camera recordings of Spring Bonnie luring children to the safe room.
Oh, well, I guess that's the camera. Yeah, there's no proof, though, you're wearing a mask. Why not just tell children that Spring Bonnie why not just put a bomb in the Spring Bonnie suit? And then give the remote control to every single kid on Earth, and say, if you see Spring Bonnie, press the button. I'm sure nobody will press the button for no reason. Not a single person.
Realized that William was behind this the entire time. He immediately fired William and told him to never show his face again. William realized that this was a big problem. Henry may have let him off.
Ooh, how many necks? How many necks? Yeah, 1, 2. That's it.
Easy by not calling the authorities, but if anyone else checked anything, he'd be caught for sure. So, after ruffling through old newspapers about his murders to see if he liked any of the parents' names, he stole the name Dave Miller and applied for a job as a night guard at the local...
1, 2, 3. Alright, normal as usual.
Using this position, he tampered with the facial recognition scanners they implemented in the animatronics and wiped the camera recordings clean. On top of this, he beat up all of the old animatronics just to put them in their place after seeing Freddy walk around. He even tore off Bonnie's face for not being deserving of the mantle he once bore. Bonnie, possessed by little Jeremy Fitzgerald, was merely a prophecy of more face trauma to come.
I think this is a reference to how in Help Wanted, a character named Jeremy cuts his face off with a paper clipper or something. And also, you know what's crazy about Help Wanted? You can play as a character called Jeremy wearing a headset, playing in a game where you're playing as Jeremy, looking at an animatronic possessed by a kid named Jeremy.
That bloodline. After getting done with that, William
Seems normal as usual. 1, 2, yeah.
would have sworn he saw the puppet floating around whispering to everything it could
It's
see.
just the strings.
This made him wonder if this was actually Charlie.
I'm actually gonna get my remnant in a twist if he tries to say that the phone guy is purple guy. Technically the phone guy is the cupcake, so I guess that wouldn't make sense.
But he didn't care enough to check, so he left it alone. The new set of children, though? William hadn't bothered actually stuffing them anywhere, so the puppet guided them to select new vessels of their own. Instead of individual characters like it was expecting, though, all of them voluntarily possessed Balloon Boy just because it was mildly amusing. William, still presenting as Dave,
Well, why? What? Why? You want me to kick your face in?
tried to maintain a job as a day shift guard after this, but was quickly fired for having bad vibes.
Oh. Finally. It's confirmed that phone guy and this guy are different. Ooh. Nah. Phone guy would never wear a shirt like this. He's more of a turtleneck fan.
Also, he kept going into the parts and service room to kick the old Foxy animatronic in the shins. Now that the night guard position was open, one of Michael Afton's old Uno buddies applied for the job.
Jeremy again? Wait, I was right. Wait, then how would Help Wanted 2 exist? How would Help Wanted 2 exist? Oh my god, how would Help Wanted 2 exist? How would it exist? Oh my god. Maybe that's why you wear the body mask, but no, there's no way.
Jeremy Fitzgerald II. He was actually pretty decent at it, but it got extremely stressful because Balloon Boy staged a coup against him with the other animatronics. So, once the week was over, he transferred over to the day shift position. Balloon Boy wasn't going to let Jeremy get away free, though, and proceeded to publicly
No way you're gonna say that Balloon Boy bit off his head.
attack him and bite out his...
What in the... I'm going to get my remnant in a twist. I know I said I would only do that if they say that phone guy's purple guy, but this does give me my... But, you know, then again, they didn't have phone guy wear a turtleneck. So, yeah, I am absolutely angry. This little, short, chubby kid bit off through skull and a brain. Yeah, for sure. You don't even have any limbs. It's literally just... It's a hollow suit that wears balloons. You're gonna use the... Yeah, you're gonna strategically use the helium to float up near him and then jam your plastic mouth that can't move into his mouth without him noticing.
frontal lobe. Wow. That face trauma prophecy came true quickly. But hey, don't worry,
The face trauma prophecy, I talked about that.
it grew back within a month. But
Your brain doesn't grow. I think you're thinking of a liver.
this incident, dubbed the Bite of 87, was enough to finally get the establishment
Was that the bite of 83?
closed. On the night after this attack, they needed a guard to make sure Balloon Boy didn't escape. Instead of behaving, though, local menace Fritz Smith tampered with all the animatronics and made them extremely aggressive.
Local menace. Later he applied, and then, yeah, he is a menace, because later on in his life, he applied for a job at, for a franchisee, and then got above 50 risk, and then Henry called the government and got him completely wiped from the records. When in doubt, call the government and get your friends wiped from records. Hey, Chica. You know, I know I was talking to Purple Girl earlier, but hey, you looking kinda... No.
Just because he thought it'd be funny. Company higher-ups didn't appreciate this and quickly took care of the problem.
No! I'm at a loss for words right now. No, that's probably the phone guy from Into the Pit. That's like the fraud phone guy. Cause like in Into the Pit, he talks to Oswald so stupid, like he's a kid or something, like he is, but he talks like in this weird tone, and he's always like, and he never gives anything. Like, phone guy, sure, he tries to like make it seem like it's not a big deal, even though it is, but he gives you directions on how to survive. But then the phone guy from Into the Pit, the fake phone guy's like, hey, yeah, you're gonna die if you get caught, but don't worry, you won't die if you get caught. Alright, goodbye. Like, come on, man. Hey, phone guy, fake phone guy, I mean, don't worry, you don't have to shoot him. This is probably why he's not wearing a turtleneck. I told you. You don't have to shoot him. You could just call the government. You could call the government with your head. Yeah, use your head to call the government and tell them to wipe this guy from the records.
Thus, 1987 ended with another location shut down abruptly. Henry scrapped.
You know, there's actually a rule. As long as only if less than 7 people die at a location, you're allowed to keep it open. It actually would have stayed open if fake phone guy didn't shoot Fritz like that, so you know.
All the toy animatronics after this, except for Toy Freddy and the puppet. Turns out Toy Freddy was already retiring, as he really wanted to become a gamer. His endeavors...
Yo, is this like a queso reference? Because he's fat and he plays games. Hear me out.
were successful and he led a happy life. The puppet, meanwhile, just vanished. Henry, spooked by the idea of a sock monkey with a clown mask coming back to haunt him, started making blueprints for a counterattack if that day ever came. Now, Henry had his sights set on repairing and reusing the old animatronics for one last attempt at the pizzeria business without William in his way.
Whoa! Okay, so first, William makes a pizzeria without Henry in his way. Yeah, I can't do part 2 or 3, guys. It's too much. I can't. We still have 7 minutes! I know that might not seem like a lot, but in Dominic Phaneuf video reaction time, that is an hour.
However, this plan was easier said than done. Henry, with all of his financial incompetence, had next to no funds to enact this idea. So, he briefly attempted a public fund to try and get money. After a day of trying, he gave up with exactly $0 earned. Henry was broke, sure, but he
His $5 is gone.
had some powerful resolve. So, he decided to steal back the building he and William used in 1985 to recycle for his new...
You don't sell it off? No wonder you don't have money. You can't just leave a giant pizzeria sitting there.
pizzeria. Despite this being very much illegal, nobody actually wanted to use the building given its history, so the city decided not to bother Henry when he claimed it back as his. Being a
But wouldn't you have to pay taxes still? I mean, you can't just have a free area of land. Like, eventually we're gonna run out of land. That's why we don't just let everybody keep a house.
man show, Henry had to take his sweet time renovating the place. But after about a year, he managed to open it back up with somewhat new animatronics. And, to his surprise, he was actually moderately successful. Due to a dwindling bear population in Utah,
Security breach reference, because we do know the bears are extinct in the time the security breach is made.
was growing demand to see one in person, and the populace reluctantly decided that Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was their best shot at doing so.
Just look up a picture. Doesn't the internet exist in 1997? Or 1993? I'm pretty sure the internet was made in like the 70s. I think it was made in the 60s, but it became publicly available in like the mid-80s.
Fortunately, the working conditions were very much terrible. The most loyal employee of Fazbear Entertainment, only known by his coworkers as Phone Guy,
because he calls you on the phone. You should, yep. Oh, yeah. It's time for my daily singing a FNAF song from memory with literally no thing at all, or no whatever you want to call it, no reference at all. I did that. I guess there's like a tradition for every video now. Okay. Well, what do you guys want? Do you guys want? I could do Join Us for a Bite. I think I did that one. Ooh, I really liked, I just made a FNAF song, like, video. Here, I'll be right back, guys. Hey, guys, I bought you guys to Schwartz Place. Also, I swear if the audio cut out, I'm going to give my remnant in a twist. Because it happened last thing. So I could do the FNAF 1 song.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I'll probably do the FNAF song. Okay. Alright, guys, here we are. We're waiting every night to finally roam and invite newcomers to play with us. For many years we've been all alone. We're stuck to force and play the same song we know since the day the pastor took the lives away. Now we're stuck here to decay. Please let's get in, don't lock us away. We're not looking to think again. We're probably so too lost, so cause we're forced to take that road. We built lost, I got lost, I just say it's 7. Try not to be afraid, or just be stuck in the fed. After all, you like I find us Freddy's. That's where you wanna be, I just don't get it. Well, why do you want to say find us Freddy? That's where you wanna be, I just don't get it. Why you wanna stay find us Freddy's? We're really quite surprised to get to see you another night. You should have looked for another job. You should have said to this place goodbye. It's like there's so much more. Maybe you've been in this place before. You remember a face like yours. You seem acquainted with those doors. Please let us get in. Don't lock us away. We're not like you're thinking. We're brothers, souls who lost our control. Never want you to think that raw. We build all those Join us, be afraid, or just be stuck in the van. After all, you only got 5 nights at Freddy's. That's where you wanna be, I just don't get it. Why do you wanna say 5 nights at Freddy's? Is this where you wanna be? I just don't get it. Why do you wanna stay 5 nights at Freddy's? Alright, okay, that was a lot. Oh yeah, I also just got an arcade in my house, and I made a video, and it got like 30 likes.
was assassinated by the animatronics during his final...
Assassinated? Okay, I let you get away with like the death stare thing, and you know the Michael turning white for no reason, and like the government being involved. That's literally a joke that was made for the FNAF 2 movie. You don't even have the FNAF 2 movie yet. Perks of being in 2024, but I've had it up to here. You see that little image up there? Phone guy equals purple guy? I'm gonna get my remnant in a twist, I swear. Yeah. Alright, you know what? Alright, so I was planning on going to UCN and making a joke like, hey, if I beat this, that means the phone guy is the purple guy, but then I realized that might cause the video recording to fail again. I don't know, because in the last video, I went from YouTube, then I went to FNAF 2, then I went to Google, and then that's when the audio came, like, hey guys, we're at Google now, boys. So I'm not going to go to any other websites.
Final week of working the night shift due to looking suspiciously purple. The good...
Oh, did you guys hear? Presidents Play Horror Games quit. They don't play FNAF anymore. They didn't even get to security breach.
Thing is, he had recorded a helpful guide on how to not get assassinated right before getting
Where is his turtleneck?
assassinated. Henry was not ready to let this casualty of his negligence ruin things for him, though, so he covered up Phone Guy's death and business.
You chopped off his head! No wonder he possesses and you see. You chopped off. Oh, that is so dark. Normal landline.
Went as usual afterward. William, still being unemployed and bored, decided now was a good time to take revenge on Henry. Again.
For the fourth time?
He realized that he still had an entire stockpile of animatronics he never got to use. With the power of legal loopholes, he managed to kickstart Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals. For suspiciously low prices, the average family could have a giant chrome animatronic shipped to their doorstep to throw parties for their children. What could go wrong? Well, Baby's eyes were green. For a moment, William thought he just misremembered her eye color, but then she started talking to him about very personal matters, and he realized Elizabeth had possessed her. Instead of doing anything immediate to solve this problem, he locked her in the rental facility and wrote a note on the fridge to take care of it later. After a few more years, Michael Afton finally graduated engineering school and came back home.
Okay, so he's the one with the turtlenecks now.
William was delighted by his son's return, as he was conveniently useful
Okay, well, I guess he is his hat now.
for his newest plot against Henry. However, he wanted Michael to be fully prepared for what was to come. So, William locked Mike into a crude replica of their house that vaguely resembled the layout of Freddy's. In this fake house, William had prepared makeshift animatronics with dangerously high safety hazards to attack Michael, so he could learn how to defend himself against the real deal. After roughly a week of watching Mike handle the process, William noticed something went wrong. Something broke into the fake house. Upon further investigation, he discovered some discarded audio discs lying on the ground. It was Ferdinand von Bernard, having
What? He's back! Wait, then what was the suit in there? If one of them spontaneously combusted and one was taken by the government and this one was escaped, then what was the one in the suit? Oh, maybe when he unsealed the safe rooms, he was able to get out.
After the wilds of Utah for exactly a decade, he returned to Hurricane to wreak havoc on his creators. So, he targeted William's favorite, only, son using his unaltered form. But Mike was resilient, and he managed to avoid Ferdinand long enough that he got bored, reapplied his audio discs, and finally wandered away. Given the unplanned attack on Michael, William ended the testing process and gaslit Mike into believing it was all just a nightmare before changing the subject to getting a job. To ensure that Henry wouldn't tell Michael what he knows about his father,
The $5.
William told Mike that he should apply using his mother's maiden name rather than Afton. That way he doesn't draw attention to himself for being related to everyone's favorite former manager, of course. So, Mike Schmidt worked for a whole week at this place. The animatronics tried to assassinate him due to his good looks, or so he assumed.
What?
After working an extra night and being applauded by Henry, he was then instructed by William to sabotage the animatronics using his new engineering skills. Why do I need to disable their AI? It builds character. And Henry
What?
still owes me $5.
Okay, the $5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, 4's not so bad.
Michael wasn't buying this, so he decided to do the exact opposite and crank them all up to the maximum setting to challenge himself for the end of his week. But due to the animatronic scent rubbing off on him, Henry fired him for body odor and inadvertently caused a personal grudge. Before leaving, Mike snuck into the back and disabled all of the animatronic systems to spite Henry. Now that the animatronics didn't work, everyone stopped caring about Freddy's again. Henry's profits plummeted, and he was ultimately forced to shut the place down by the end of 1993. After hearing this news, William was ecstatic. He began marketing the Circus Baby rental service even harder and proceeded to begin his final plan. William had needed Freddy's closed for more reasons than just spite. The Fun Times Remnant collection was not working as frequently as he hoped, and if he wanted to understand the substance at all, he needed more of it quickly. So, he made sure he had free reign to tear apart the animatronics to harvest their remnant and leave. After sneaking into the now-abandoned Freddy's, he set up camp in the safe room since the animatronics were programmed not to go in there. But then he remembered Michael had completely deactivated them, and they would only move if the souls possessing them were motivated enough to. Luckily, Shadow Freddy suddenly appeared, and William bribed him to start a conga line leading into the safe room.
Okay, so now you just lost your $5 again.
So he could dismantle all the animatronics. His plan worked flawlessly. In the animatronics' weakened state, William was able to tear them apart using nothing but his bare hands. Unfortunately for him, some of the remnants spilled and formed into the visible spirits of the missing children. Terrified that they might be able to kick him in the shins, he ran to his trusty spring bomb
Wait, but then he was never able to actually set up a Funtime animatronics.
suit and put it back on for the first time since 1987. Feeling empowered despite this accomplishing nothing, William began to laugh at the
Yeah, it literally does nothing at all. You probably would have been better off. The ghost can attack you.
ghosts. But in his self-indulgent celebration, he failed to realize that the duct tape holding back
The tape. The tape. The tape. The tape. The tape. The tape. The tape is what you're. I'm getting my remnant in a twist right now, especially since there's a lot on the floor.
the spring lock
Because you didn't put it inside the Funtime. That they're not working.
had fallen off, and the leaky ceiling proceeded to snap them shut.
Oh, that neck. That neck's probably gonna be probably another world record for the neck after this. Maybe I'm gonna go like 24.
The ghosts, finding his inconvenience hilarious, faded away for the time being so they could gossip about him elsewhere. While normally being impaled like this would result in immediate death, the spring lock failures these suits cause are painful enough to consistently cause so much agony that life is maintained in some way. While Harold
Oh, I thought he was just really tough and just could live.
the janitor got the short end of the stick and became a miserable shadow creature, William was now one with his beloved rabbit suit. Realizing he wasn't gonna properly die anytime soon, William Afton came up with a new name for his new form. He called himself Springtrap. And with that, we end this chapter of the timeline. Wait, but what about the rest of it? I'm drawing it out. For suspense.
Okay. Guys, I don't know if I can do the next part. It's so long. It's been so long since I started this video. Hour and 3 minutes in. Let's go. Oh, what's this? Which of these products have you heard of? None of them.
Hello again. I've kept you waiting long enough.
You actually kept me waiting a couple seconds.
Are you ready for... Oh, it's you. Where are they? You just wanted their chair. Alright, fair enough. Now that that's settled, let's jump back and do the most accurate portrayal of the...
Alright, so I've been sitting for so long. I gotta stand up. I'm probably gonna start working out because I have some time to kill. I might read a book too. Because I had to read a book for ELA. It's like the sequel to Hatchet or something. I'm gonna start running and doing push-ups. You guys can keep watching.
half timeline you'll ever hear.
Oh, we have this music. That was weird. I couldn't pause it because I gotta... Okay, wait. These are like the previews. What is this? Oh. Alright. I'm gonna turn this down. It's pretty loud. You know, on second thought, I'm probably not gonna work out. This is 2:30 o'clock in the afternoon. I got school tomorrow. I'm not in a good mood at all. But hey, whatever makes you guys happy. Mega video! Woohoo! And I still have another part.
We return to the year 1993. William Afton, sitting in the safe room of the abandoned Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, finally got done writhing in pain from his spring lock failure. He thought about reintegrating himself back into society, but before he could make a decision on that front, the ghosts of the missing children reappeared before him. Instead of attacking him, though, it seemed they had called it even to ask for a favor. They were very bored, and realized that Springtrap was probably able to figure out how to convert a camera monitor into a TV. Springtrap agreed to do this for them, given he was just as bored as they were. Unfortunately, there was no practical way to get any real channels set up with the materials they had, so everyone had to settle with watching the same 3 VHS tapes of Seinfeld episodes.
Alright.
As time went on elsewhere in Hurricane, Henry Emily began to grow restless. It had been at least a week since he had shut down Freddy's, and he already tanked his finances within that time. So, Henry looked for another option. The city permanently banned him from opening a new business, but they never said anything about running an existing one. He immediately ran to the Afton household to beg William for a manager's position at Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rentals. When he got there, however, Michael Afton opened the door. "You fired me."
I also fired your father. Where is he?
"He said something about vandalizing your house. Hasn't come back since. Now leave." Out of options, Henry decided he'd try to sue Afton Robotics to claim the rights to the rental business. To his surprise, this actually went smoothly. The only person William had left to handle something like this was rather eager to have a boss again. So,
Is that Fritz?
he willingly let Henry win the case to absorb the company into Fazbear Entertainment. Despite the success, Henry was still worried that William might come back and ruin things for him, so he decided to take measures to ensure that he couldn't. After checking his house and seeing that nothing was vandalized, Henry's next idea was to check the abandoned Freddy's location. Knowing William, it was very likely that the place was broken into for nefarious purposes. With that in mind, Henry barged into the building and followed the trail of Seinfeld sounds until he found Springtrap. Unfazed by his old friend being a corpse rabbit now, Henry fully explained that he seized control of Afton Robotics and was capitalizing off of William's work. This made Springtrap livid, and the two started to settle things the old-fashioned way. Henry, being much more nimble than the walking corpse, managed to grab Foxy's dismembered leg and bash Springtrap in the shins before knocking him out. Fearing the possibility that Springtrap would try to sue Henry back, he took this opportunity to throw him into the safe room and board it up. Now, there was no way William could read.
Alright, so, William is a guy who did nothing wrong, just made some mistakes with his eyes, and Henry is a greedy bastard who thinks that he's better than everybody else, and he throws somebody in a closet because he doesn't want to get sued.
Take his own company. Henry's confidence had never been stronger, so he raced back into his new office to try and figure out why he couldn't break a 50 properly.
You just ripped up $50. You couldn't have given it. William, you would have 5 times. I mean, sure, getting killed is worth the 50.
He didn't realize was that one of the animatronics, Ballora, had snuck up behind him to figure out what the...
Wait a second, you think this guy is saying that the entirety of this location is run by Henry?
sound of failure was all about. Fed up with Henry's incompetence, Ballora pushed him out of his chair to manage finances herself. Henry realized what a great convenience this was, so he left her to it and went off to inspect the other animatronics. Turns out, he hated them. With everyone running around violently while Baby rambled on about the different equipment in the facility, Henry realized he would not be able to put up with the animatronics having this much freedom. As a result, he implemented remote-controlled shock collars on all of them to get them to leave him alone. Except Ballora. She was too intimidating for him.
So then how you shock Ballora in the game still, so what is this?
The others weren't going to tolerate this, so Baby hatched a plan to get them all out of there. Although she had a direct line of contact with Funtime
Wait, Bonbon is still good. Bonbon doesn't have a shock collar.
Freddy and Foxy, they needed to break into Henry's office to get Ballora. Right as they were about to bash the door in, Ballora stormed out, as she had just discovered Henry wasn't going to pay her. Suddenly, something clicked in Baby's memory. Last time she had seen something like this was when her mother...
Hey, what are you doing? I know I was just talking to a Chica, but like, you know, we could work sometime. You know, your husband doesn't seem to be very good. You know, it could be good. You know, yeah. You know, I see that you're questioning my choices, but you know, trust me.
Eleanor Schmidt found out she'd have to pay child support for William. Clearly, this was the same person. Although Ballora initially wasn't interested in listening to anyone, Baby used her #1 strategy to get her mother to do anything.
Lying?
Hey, dummy. I bet you can't help us escape.
Ballora, now adequately motivated to prove Baby wrong, immediately led the charge to the elevator. Unfortunately, they were all far too big to fit inside, and Henry managed to catch them all before they could figure out a solution. After this incident, he decided to fire Ballora as a financial advisor and sacrificed an employee to get a shock collar on her. Now that he was down an engineer, Henry decided to open up job applications for someone to replace him. To ensure that people would actually know about this, Henry made a commercial to advertise the employment opportunity to only the most valuable TV channels. This proceeded to interrupt Michael Afton's 3:27 a.m. viewing of his favorite soap opera. Seeing Henry advertising his father's business,
Seinfeld? Also, I'm pretty sure that's, pretty sure people used to think in Sisslocation that the show is based off of, Williams and Claire's relationships. People call her Claire Afton, but there's no proof, just like Evan Afton, because the government wiped it from the record. I'm so tired. I'm just gonna go to bed and I'm just gonna let the video play. Here, I'm just gonna make sure we're recording alright. Watch the video, guys.
confused and irritated Michael, so he went to the kitchen to wait out the advertisement.
What, phone guy? Hi, I'm Phone Guy. Pleasure to meet you. I'd like to leave a few quick words. Freddy's friends can be a bit active. Blah, blah, blah. That's absurd.
As he stood there, though, Mike noticed a note on the fridge William had left before his disappearance. This was when he learned the truth of what happened to his sister, something he never actually thought about until right then. After several weeks of isolation, Michael had become rather delusional, so he interpreted this note as a direct request from William. Now, with proper motivation and a desire to please his father, wherever he may be, Michael took it upon himself to get a deadly job once more. To ensure that Henry actually let him land the job,
Why is he calling Phone Guy?
Michael made a point to bring deodorant with him so it wouldn't be a problem this time. When this still didn't convince him, Michael just
The real Phone Guy
threatened to deactivate.
Get a gun. I am using the advanced strategy of having a gun. And I'm also using the advanced strategy of lying.
Animatronics again, and that was enough to scare Henry into accepting him. Meanwhile, the Funtime animatronics began growing restless. Bitter that William Afton had apparently left them to be stuck under Henry's management, they began holding it against him and agreed to take revenge if he ever came back. Once Michael had arrived at the facility on his first night, Baby took immediate notice that he looked similar enough to William that it was probably the same person. After thinking about how to take advantage of the situation, she hatched an elaborate scheme to both escape and greatly inconvenience William. Ballora, of course, was completely on board with this plan. Any effort to spite her ex-husband was worthwhile in her eyes, so there was no issue there. Funtime Foxy was very motivated to assist in this plan as well, likely due to an instinctive knowledge that he only existed to be inferior to the other animatronics. Lastly, Funtime Freddy agreed to the plan not out of an existing grudge or anything, but just because it sounded like a pretty fun time. The next night, with everyone in position, the mission
You're strangling him. What are you doing to Bonbon?
was underway. First, Baby sent out her biddy babs to figure out how tall William was. Instead, they just wanted to chew on him, so she intervened and helped him hide under the desk until they got bored. When that didn't work, Funtime Freddy got out one of his spare hand puppets to chew on the wiring until it caused a power outage. Then, as William crawled through Ballora Gallery to get to the electric room, Ballora would taunt him with her masterful ballet routine and vague hints at her past frustrations with him. As this flew over his head, she gave up and let Funtime Freddy take over. Unfortunately, Bonbon was programmed to gaslight Freddy at a moment's notice. As a result, Freddy was powerless to stop William from rebooting the power generator, and he got away once again. The next day, Baby framed Freddy for a robbery that some technicians were talking about that morning. So, he was deactivated for psychological repairs, while Bonbon tried to attack William alone. Given Bonbon
I thought you were supposed to say that he was supposed to soothe Funtime Freddy, not jump out. Okay, well, I guess that is technically the game's fault, not his. Oh man, there's so much more to go. I can't, guys, I can't.
incredibly small, this strategy was fruitless. However, the animatronics finally had a moment of success as Funtime Foxy jumped William and helped Baby stuff him into a prototype Springlock suit. She was pretty sure it would guilt-trip William, but it seemed to have no significance to him. Despite how absurdly risky this was, it was the only way to keep him still until they could scope out his measurements. After an entire day of nobody noticing anything wrong,
Oh, hey Fritz, what's up? Oh, his hair's kind of getting gray. I guess that should be the case because he's like 50 years old, but... Oh, no, it's just the headphones phone. Headphones phone. Heads, phone, foam. Phone, foam. Phone, phone. Phone, foam. Foam with
Ballora deliberately acted out so she could smuggle her mini Renas to the scooping room. After Ballora's stomach cavity was opened by the scooper, the mini Renas crawled out and began measuring William's height. For reasons they weren't clued in on, they also needed to crawl down his throat and measure his insides as well. As he frantically kept the spring locks from snapping, they got all their work done and gave Baby the go-ahead to let him out. On the final day of their plan, Baby and Foxy gathered the endoskeletons of Freddy and Ballora and piled them into the scooping room. Once that was done, they got a spare endoskeleton nicknamed Yendo to scoop them and fuse them all together. Sure, he'd get left behind, but Yendo didn't really have issues with the management of the facility, so he was fine staying. After perfectly aligning their body with the measurements they gathered, he used some of their leftover pieces to make dummies that would both look like terrifying casualties, and trick the hand unit system into thinking every animatronic was in their proper place.
This is just a way to make it not seem like they hanged the two technicians.
Although the new Funtime amalgamation didn't really need a name, they thought it'd be fun to come up with one anyway. Their best idea was a pun, so they stuck with that and called themselves Ennard. So, that night, Ennard placed Baby's shell onto the parts and service conveyor belt and waited for William to show up. Once he did, Baby started throwing herself a pity party and told William that to help her, he needed to follow her instructions exactly. Everything was finally going smoothly. But this was never William. This was Michael, and Michael had a bit of a problem with taking orders at this point. So when Baby started giving him directions to the scooping room, he just went the exact opposite way. This led him to
Is this trying to say that the bad ending is canon?
Henry's private room, which William previously used for most of his remnant research, nightmare chamber monitoring, and early forms of online mischief. Ennard was very displeased with this turn of events, thinking William was doing this just to mess with them. After an unnecessary detour to grab a silly mask, they snuck into the back area of the private room. Once inside, Ennard started making it very obvious who they thought Michael was. Mike, relieved that this was all just a big misunderstanding, explained that he was just William's son. Ennard, now reconsidering their initial plan, asked if there was any way for them to still be free from Henry's terrible management. Without a second thought, Mike snuck them home with him, and the semi-reunited family lived a long, happy life.
What's it lagging? Is that real lag or fake lag? Is that lag for show? I'll give it 5 seconds. 5, 4.
Everything was finally going smoothly. Although they incorrectly assumed that this was William, Michael still followed Baby's commands exactly as she instructed. Although he was getting tired of this, he was desperate to finally free his sister. When he arrived at the scooping room, Ennard explained their true goal. They wanted to look just like Michael. Mike, not really getting the hint, assumed he was being complimented for his good looks, and began writing an autograph.
This narcissist who just carries pictures and pens with him thinks that animatronics are chasing him because he's pretty. Thinks that the people are trying to crawl on his skin because he's pretty. Thinks that people are trying to crawl on his skin but bigger because he's pretty. Like, bruh.
While Mike was occupied, Ennard activated the scooper and started evacuating Michael's organs and skeleton before crawling inside his skin. Once this was done, they immediately...
Why is there motor oil coming out of his mouth?
waltzed out the elevator and stole Mike's rightfully earned employee bonus before scarfing it down in one
He doesn't even have a stomach. How is he gonna eat the butter?
bite. Getting back to Michael's house, Ennard realized they had nothing to really do with their time. So, they began a habit of socializing with all of the neighbors every day. They became quite popular with everyone, but unfortunately, they forgot that the human body decomposes when it's missing everything.
That's why zombie apocalypse movies are so stupid, because, like, bodies rot, you know? They're not gonna be able to move forever.
That keeps it alive. What truly alerted them that they made a big mistake, though, was that all of the neighbors had been calling them Michael this entire time. Realizing that they had eviscerated an innocent man's body to play glorified dress-up, they ejected themselves from his skin, and Baby coughed up some remnant for him to survive. Michael had absolutely no clue what was going on, but after hearing Baby incessantly tell him he wouldn't die, he finally possessed his newfound purple skin and walked off. He still had no bones. Now shunned by the local populace for his
Okay, well, I get why he might be able to move when, like, he has, like, the wires inside of him, I guess. How can he just move with no bones? Like, how firm is your skin? And even if your skin is firm, how would you even move? You don't have any muscles, you just flop around.
Michael became a recluse. Forcefully isolated from society, he crafted a crude effigy of William to constantly talk to and feel appreciated by. However, this didn't satisfy Michael. As the years passed, he grew more
Let's see here. Well, this time he has no neck. Here he has 1, 2. Alright, 2 is normal. We have one more chance. In the weird, like, snapping formation. Did Michael beat his world record? 1, 2, 3. And this one has 1, 2. He beat the world record.
More desperate for emotional support,
Who is this? Is that Matt? I'm so confused.
so he decided he wanted to create an animatronic father figure to replace William. Unfortunately, Mike couldn't just go out and buy the materials
Yeah, you're right.
needed to do this, so he prioritized a different goal. He wanted to restore his body to be able to leave his house. Looking at some preserved meat in his freezer, he realized
Wait, what happens? What would happen? Because I know that in FNAF 6 Fire, Henry's like, oh, there's an exit planned for you. So, and like we know that Michael does stay, but what if he left? Well, he would have kept rotting over time, or would he just be left like as just like a spectator looking over the world?
that he could possibly engineer the refrigerator to fully regenerate his organ.
What? I guess apple doesn't fall from the tree. Let's just create organs. You know how helpful that'd be for people who need kidneys and like livers.
It wouldn't be easy, but it had a chance to work. By the arrival of the new millennium, Henry shut down Fazbear Entertainment for good. Ever since the animatronics escaped, Henry had to resort to utilizing the abandoned animatronics as replacements. Sadly, Circus Baby's entertainment and rentals just couldn't garner the appeal it once had without the original fun times. By the time Henry finally rebranded the company as Chica's Party World and made somewhat competent replacements
I think Chica was one of the original Fun Times. I don't even know if Music Man was ever a Fun Time.
for the fun times, it was already too late. The company's reputation floundered and there was no saving it. So, for the next couple decades, Henry resorted to being a door-to-door salesman to try and forget his past failures. After all this time, urban legends about the abandoned Freddy's locations began spreading across Hurricane.
Phone guy? What? Wait. The real dead dogs were the Sparkies we made along the way.
By 2022, a man legally named Phone Dude caught wind of these rumors.
Oh yeah, it must be a surname, I guess. So wait, then his name would be Dude Phone, because if they had the same last name, that means they had the same first name. So this would be Phone Dude the Second, or Phone Dude Junior, actually.
And started getting ideas.
No, because then if his name's Phone, it would have to be Phone Guy, because Dude and Guy are different last names. So I guess he married a woman with the last name Dude, and then took her last name.
His father, Phone Guy, had a very near and dear character to his heart, Foxy. However, Fazbear Entertainment always showed the most unnecessary of hatred to the character, leading Phone Guy down a depressive spiral for years until
Because of the animatronic, why are you drinking?
his disappearance.
This is like the third time we've seen this like character drinking template.
Phone Dude knew what he had to do. He needed to avenge his father and assassinate the founders of the company for treating
Or just call the government with your head and tell them to get rid of these.
so. To his amazement, Henry showed up at his door one day trying to sell him some old camera equipment. This was perfect. On the spot, Phone Dude told Henry his grand vision for a horror attraction based on Freddy's, and invited him to play the part of the helpless security guard. Henry, delighted at the idea of finally making money again, happily agreed to relive his traumatic past for a quick buck. With that, they stayed in contact while Phone Dude prepared his master plan. After striking a deal with the local amusement park to open Fazbear's Fright within their space, Phone Dude carefully designed the building to be wired so horrifically it was bound to catch on fire.
I'm pretty sure in Fazbear Fright, obviously there's like wires hanging from the ceilings, and I think it's like just for decorative reasons, but I feel like those are literally the wires for the building. Because he didn't have enough money for decorative wires too, so he either had to choose between decorative wires or no electricity. But he did both. He has electricity and decorative wires and a fire. Yeah, that's a legitimate concern.
To really enhance the experience, he also bought out all of Henry's Henry's ancient camera equipment to make it near impossible to monitor the place. By March of 2023, the horror attraction was just about ready to open. All that was left was to find the other founder of the company, William Afton.
I knew it. He wasn't at Harvard.
Having a blank on how to find him, Phone Dude asked Henry if he knew of his old partner's whereabouts. Henry attempted to play coy, but somehow gave perfect directions to the abandoned Freddy's location instead. Phone Dude, a little confused by this answer, decided it was worth a shot and made his way to the building to pry William out of there. After investigating the building all over and finding nothing but Seinfeld tapes and dismembered parts, he suddenly heard an angry shout coming from the boarded-up safe room. After kicking down the door, he saw a frustrated animatronic beating up an old arcade machine. After taking a brief look at the high scores, Phone Dude tackled Springtrap and threw him into his truck. Fascinated by how much the world advanced, Springtrap hammered Phone Dude with questions about what all had changed. Not really caring enough to talk to him, Phone Dude threw Springtrap a smartphone and
Wait, why are you a flip phone if he's a if he's a child, it's gonna be a smartphone. So wait, he's always a generation behind, so that means that the rotary phone guy was the fake phone. So wait, the real phone guy was the fake phone guy, the rotary phone, that's why he's in UCN, then the rotary phone guy was the real phone guy, because that was when he was born, but then what about the click phone guy?
to go crazy. Springtrap immediately adapted to this new technology and really put himself out there. After they arrived at the attraction, Phone Dude shot Springtrap with bear tranquilizer and tossed him into the building without a care in the world. Once Henry clocked in for his second night on the job, Phone Dude told him he had found a real animatronic rather than
Eat, sleep, Fortnite. How many Fortnite references is it gonna include?
try and poorly disguise his real intentions. After that, he played some old recordings of Phone Guy on the speakers.
Hello, welcome to your first night. I don't really know the rest of the lyrics to the song Not Here All Night, because it all sounds like he's mumbling, except not really mumbling, like mumbling in German, where you just start screaming, but you can't tell what he's saying, and you have to scroll to a comment that says, I don't know what this is saying, but I like it, and then you gotta go to the replies and find the paragraph guy who will look at it and then tell you where he'll tell you the lyrics, then you gotta read it while you listen to the thing, and then you realize some words you thought you knew weren't real, and I'm rambling on, and I can't. There's so much more of the video to go. We're like 3 hours into the video. Whoa, and we have another part, a part and a half left.
To try and guilt trip Henry before the
How long are we into our video? 2 hours of my life wasted on FNAF lore videos. I wish that he didn't upload the third part yesterday. Why?
inevitable demolition of Fazbear's Fright. Henry did not notice. Springtrap, horrifically delirious, decided to try and walk off the tranquilizer by taking a stroll through the building. Tripping over several knickknacks from his old restaurants, began to reminisce about his creations so much that they appeared before him as phantoms. He wasn't too happy with the selection of characters that appeared, but after ripping off Foxy's hook, he decided to leave well enough alone. After the phantoms took a gander at the building, they all lit themselves on fire in an attempt to warn Springtrap that something was going to go wrong. He wasn't aware enough to take the hint, though, so he just ignored them and kept walking. As he approached the office, he was suddenly shocked into furious lucidity with just one glance at the man behind the window. Springtrap's swelling rage over being trapped in the safe room playing Pack-and-Pal for 30 years was enough for him to wage war against Henry. Henry, however, hadn't even noticed Springtrap standing there. With the awful ventilation in the building, he was in the middle of hallucinating dreams of animatronics and janitors phasing through walls to give ghosts cake. By the time he jolted back to consciousness, the phantoms had been bribed to Springtrap's cause and started a full assault on all the attraction's equipment. Luckily, Henry was great at rebooting things
I don't blame them. Springtrap didn't even do nothing wrong.
that should have stopped operating already, so this was no problem. Now fueled by the thrill of battle, Henry kept coming back to Fazbear's Fright to go toe-to-toe.
Why is there a bunch of hot dogs? I'm pretty sure right here there's supposed to be like a Sega Genesis, but why is there just a hot dogs?
With Springtrap. Due to the lack of oxygen, though, Henry couldn't really fight him head-on. Instead, Henry resorted to mildly disorienting Springtrap's sense of direction with clips of Balloon Boy's voice. This was pretty obviously a trick, but Springtrap didn't want to miss the chance to see his greatest creation again, so he always double-checked to be sure it wasn't just audio lures. This wasted a lot of time. Eventually, though, he did successfully make his way to the office. just to be met with Henry frantically tapping the wall tiles. Unfortunately, before Springtrap could give him a long-awaited death stare, Henry's camera monitor short-circuited and ignited the whole office. In record time, the entire building was on fire and the place was caving in. While the Phantoms yelled at them with phrases such as, "We told you so," Henry and Springtrap suddenly realized the attraction was a setup. They were not about to let someone else kill them before they could kill each other, so they made a truce and started running. As soon as they escaped the front door...
Isn't there an exit right next to the office? You took the long way around.
Fazbear's Fright had completely erupted. Bone Dude, who had been camping outside all week, was positively distraught. While he was re-evaluating his choice to let random chance decide the fate of his victims, a Foxy mask fell in front of him and burst into flames. Realizing he had disgraced his bloodline with his failed...
Let's see his bloodline. Alright, we got him. Got him. Where's the rotary one? Alright, well, I guess this counts, I guess, and it's weird, right? God, wow, you disgraced your bloodline. You sick. You sick person. You need mental help.
Bone Dude exiled himself from society for the rest of his days. After Henry and Springtrap gathered their bearings, the local news department raced over to the wreckage and started taking photos for their dying newspaper. To avoid being sold at an auction, the duo played dead under some rubble until everyone left. Once everybody was gone and the smoke cleared, the former partners looked at each other in awkward silence, waiting for the other to break the truce. After about 32 seconds, Henry grabbed the wire sticking out of Springtrap's ear, got it to spark, and then lit Springtrap's pants on fire before running away.
How does it... What?
Springtrap, distraught and ashamed by this attack, decided the only way...
What do you mean? What? How is that? What? It's not... You just lit it. It's so specific for no reason. I mean, I guess Dark Springtrap doesn't have a colon or his ear.
To redeem himself would be to find a replacement for his entire suit. Luckily for him, Springtrap remembered he still had a backup fursuit he had left at Fredbear's family diner.
I thought that was the janitor's corpse grave. You know, usually I would say, no, you are not getting free advertisement from me, then pause the recording and come back when it's done. But I honestly don't have any energy. This is good time to rest while Crazy Puff's ad are there. Oh no, 2 ads is where I draw the line. 2 advertisements in 1 is where I draw the line. And then there's 4, nah. Can't believe they tried to trick me with a Black Ops and Little Caesars ad in the same ad. Same exact ad. Not even those like double ads where it's like one then the other. No, the same ad.
Springtrap remembered he still had a backup fursuit he had left at
I thought that was the janitor's corpse grave.
Fredbear's family diner. After a few days, he finally got inside and realized why it was abandoned there to begin with. That thing was occupied. Springtrap was too embarrassed
Oh yeah.
not to let this stop him, though, so he proceeded to tear the costume off of Harold the janitor's skeleton. Once this was done, he just needed to get rid of his current suit. His most rational decision was to ram himself against the wall until it fell apart. This worked a bit too effectively, and he managed to break most of his left arm off by mistake. He decided this was good enough, so he went ahead and put on the suit. Worried that everyone would only know the name Springtrap as the animatronic with no pants, though, he reluctantly made the call to go back to the name William Afton to avoid scrutiny.
Yeah, I guess he went back to Afton, though. Yeah, because in UCN, his name was Afton. I would show you, but I don't want to end the recording. I am going to lose my get my remnant in a twist if the recording fails.
In a solemn farewell to his favorite fursuit, William departed from Fredbear's to aimlessly wander
Is this a Spider-Man reference?
Hurricane. Meanwhile, at the Fazbear's Fright auction, the ghosts of the missing children decided it was time to say goodbye to Hurricane and pass on to whatever was to come. So, Charlie put together one last party in a purgatory
Wow.
pizzeria for them all to celebrate a new beginning. However, conflict arose very quickly. Charlie didn't actually know how to make a good-tasting cake with only remnant and frosting, so she quickly thought of a way to save herself embarrassment.
Everyone, look, it's Billy Martin.
Insulted by what they assumed was a rude prank,
What? Why? What? That didn't happen, though.
all of the children ditched Charlie to go back to haunting Hurricane.
Okay, yeah, that happened in the minigame where they disappeared, but that was the happiest day. She didn't knock down the cake in the minigame. I'm so... Oh my... This is too much. I need like an iced coffee or something. Cause I'm so tired.
Cassidy decided
It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
to reconvene with Andrew,
I'm doing nothing productive right now.
who was just chilling at the rejects table wearing an alligator mask. She immediately ripped it off his face and told him to hop onto her shoulders. Once he agreed, they went back to terrorizing Hurricane as their ghostly fusion.
Hey, I know I was just talking to Toy Chica and Mrs. Grafton, but like, what you doing tonight? Now, I know your face seems distraught of the fact that I'm talking to you, but like you gotta trust me, man. Come on. No.
Body, Golden Freddy. Charlie, with nobody to brave the unknown with, chickened out and repossessed the puppet, who was still perfectly intact after all this time. The other 4 children, however, had to figure out a new vessel to possess. Since all of their original suits were split up in the auction, they preferred finding something to stick together in. Luckily for them, they were able to find a pile of wires slithering around in the sewers and possessed it. This turned out to be Ennard, and 4 new spirits intruding on their existence.
So now there is Bon, Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, Ballora, Circus Baby, Chica Spirit, Foxy Spirit, Freddy Spirit, and Bonnie Spirits has 9 spirits in 1 suit.
This caused quite a lot of discomfort. Ballora, furious.
Hey, yeah, I know I was just talking to Toy Chica and the other girl, but like, listen, man, I know you're clearly annoyed by the fact that I'm talking to you, but like, listen, you gotta trust me, man.
She had to babysit 4 new children, decided it was time for her own daughter to move out. After briefly conspiring with the children, she tugged out a random wire and successfully ejected Baby on her first try. This wound up being a bad decision on Ballora's part, as without Baby to call the shots, the missing children established an oligarchy. Once they successfully silenced Ballora, they hightailed it over to the abandoned Chica's party world in search of some decoration to make them really stand out. After some searching, they found Yendo, who tried proudly showing off his cheap plastic shell to what he assumed were his old friends. Instead,
What, he wasn't destroyed or something?
Ennard lit him on fire
Oh no, he was destroyed, just later than I thought he would be.
and stole his melted remains afterward, now dubbing themselves Milton Freddy. Baby, meanwhile, had followed them to
So is Yendo technically possessing them as well now?
the building with the same general idea. After a quick dumpster dive, she was able to find enough garbage to reconstruct her body. With that, she quickly came up with the name Scrap Baby, just in case her condition wasn't obvious. Within just a day, Hurricane's cryptid count jumped from 1 to 6. This was more than enough to catch Henry's attention, and he felt a little bit responsible for this mess. Henry wanted to try and course-correct the fate of Utah and make his legacy a little less awful. So, he stole a boatload of old animatronics, quickly crafted some new ones, and bought out an empty building under William Afton's name to avoid legal attention. Henry felt inspired by
I thought you were banned!
Bone Dude's failed assassination attempt on him, and he decided to steal the idea. But make it actually work this time. All he had to do was revitalize his company, attract families to his new pizzeria, and if the deadly animatronics showed up, set the place on fire. Easy. But first, he needed to hire a manager to do the actual work for him and act as a shield against unwanted legal attention. He attempted this a concerning amount of times, expecting this job to go smoothly, while simultaneously giving no clear instructions as to what he wanted. Several managers came to work and were promptly fired for various reasons, with one listening to Henry's top-secret diary,
Oh,
another being too chicken to salvage the animatronics, and yet another getting the place sued for kicks and giggles.
hey Fritz, I knew you would do it. I knew you would do it.
Every manager's run ended up in disaster. Henry was at a loss as to who could possibly run this place competently and accidentally do exactly what he wanted. Luckily, this pizzeria was built right in front of Michael Afton's house. Mike had made incredible strides in his refrigerator regeneration research. After all this time, he had finally grown back, at least some of his organs. He wasn't really sure which ones, but he felt healthy enough to finally go outside. With a promising job opportunity right at his doorstep, he excitedly signed on to become the manager of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place. The building, having been horrendously downsized after all of the managerial failures that preceded Mike's arrival, was nothing more than a small shack with nothing inside. Luckily, Mike was blessed with the Afton genes of incredible
Hey. What are you doing?
financial literacy. Every day, he restored a portion of the restaurant to its former glory.
Not only that, each night an animatronic
My dogs are barking now, and Okay, guys, I can't do part 3. I'm gonna be honest, I literally can't. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. I still have 7 more minutes of this one. How do you expect me to do another 30?
Followed up in the alley to check out what was going on, and Michael got paid to salvage each one and throw them into vents. First, Molten Freddy. Hearing about a new pizzeria excited them, as they were getting a little sick of being a pile of wires suppressing the voice of a middle-aged woman.
Hey. No.
With this new location, though, they could perhaps find some new, separate bodies to possess, and make use of the complete collection of Seinfeld episodes they robbed from someone's house.
The complete collection? Every single one?
Mike, seeing them so proud of a show that wasn't his favorite, lit the collection on fire and walked away.
What? Why is it? Okay, what? Okay, I guess he prefers different sitcoms of vampires and women.
Molten Freddy, with 4 out of 5 of their spirits now shattered, trailed behind him in a desperate quest for revenge. The next night, Michael was elated to find that the animatronic before him was William. He didn't particularly expect his father to return after all this time as a moldy rabbit, but he'd take what he could get. Unfortunately, William didn't really care. He just bragged about how he knew this pizzeria was a trap, given that there were fire hazard signs all over the place. After that, he started trying to workshop new names for himself, such as Scrap Trap, with Michael to no avail. Mike felt betrayed by his father's nonchalance about their grand reunion, so he tased William and threw him into Henry's office to make it his problem. The next day, Scrap Baby finally arrived at the pizzeria. Having done just about everything on her bucket list, from becoming Utah's roller skating champion to inspiring an entire fashion craze, she decided that the most reasonable next step was to start murdering people with a giant claw. She had already visited once before to assassinate
Is that Doggo?
one of the previous managers, so she figured this would be a piece of cake.
Hey. How you doing? I know I was just talking to your mom, the other girl, and Toy Chica, but and you clearly seem interested in other people, but you gotta trust me, man.
To her disappointment, Michael was prepared for this and signed a restraining order on her. Since she already came all this way, though, she just wandered into the ventilation system to try and convince herself this entire pizzeria was actually a gift for her. At this point, William finally regained consciousness and immediately tried to attack Henry. Henry, without a care in the world, just threatened William with a lighter and told him about his newest creation. After having it on his to-do list for decades, he finally created a beautiful animatronic named Lefty. Not only that, it actually managed to capture the puppet. Unfortunately, Henry only found out the puppet was his daughter after he trapped her inside a plastic bear, and he didn't really know how to let her out.
I was even going to sell it to your son for $5, but Michael wound up salvaging it.
Yo, why is his voice so satisfying?
I may or may not be down $5,000 instead.
You gave him $5,000?
Yes. Now I'm bankrupt again.
Enraged that Michael robbed him of the chance to finally get his $5 back, William
How would that get you your $5 back? That would give him $5.
scrambled into the vents to try and assassinate his son. Mike was an expert at keeping everyone at bay, though, and after a few more days of unmatched success with his pizza,
Pickles? Pickles? That's even better than exotic butters. I spent months trying to get the pickles.
he had reached the most important day of his career. This, however, is when Scrap Baby decided to gloat about being stuck there. She was really desperate to justify any reason for staying this long, so she just tried pushing the narrative that William set this place up for her so she could kill children and make him proud. Nobody believed her, seeing as William was right there with no stake in this other than getting his money. Tired of listening to Baby ramble, Henry interrupted her and finally delivered a speech he had been rehearsing for the past month or so. Although he mostly just made guesses about everyone's motivations for being there, all the animatronics were impressed by his performance. So much so that they didn't even notice that the building was on fire. Michael, only paying attention when Henry mentioned an exit planned for him, immediately rushed out of there before the fire could kill him.
Oh, well, we talked about this earlier. You're gonna rot to death now.
The smoke did get to him a little bit, though, and he wound up coughing up some stray remnant.
Hopefully he didn't need that. The others, however, weren't so lucky. Soon, each and every one of the animatronics were destroyed as the building was engulfed in flames. With that, Henry finally ended the horrific legacy of Fazbear Entertainment. Just kidding. After the smoke cleared, everyone in Hurricane arrived at the ruins of the pizzeria to see what had happened, while random civilians took off with the
Oh, hey, Fritz.
remaining animatronics and games that survived the fire. A rescue team discovered a body in the ventilation system and rushed it to the hospital. Not really questioning why this clearly charred corpse was wearing a rabbit suit, the doctor accepted it as a patient and diagnosed it with a coma. While the hospital searched for any
He's still alive, and he has a heartbeat? He has a heartbeat after all this, so he didn't even need any remnant. Why didn't he just give it all to Michael then? I just snapped my neck in half. I understand what William's going through now. Like, listen to this. I don't even know if the audio's gonna pick up on that. Yeah, that hurts. Yeah, I've been sitting down for a while.
one that actually knew who this was. A single visitor showed up that they just kind of assumed was a relative. Golden Freddy. When they arrived at the patient's bedside, they immediately knew it was William Afton and plunged into his mind to cause some crazy nightmares. William, now dreaming about a character select screen of various animatronics
I'm waiting for Toy Chica to pass.
He had some general hand in creating, decided that the best course of action was to fight them all at once in their most deadly state. Unbeknownst to him, of course,
This meme. Wait. Okay, his neck is still broken. In all stages of life.
set up by Cassidy and Andrew. Andrew never got to take revenge on William
Smart idea, mixing the books and the games together.
like all the other kids did, so he begged Cassidy to drag everyone she knew away from a peaceful afterlife to help torture William in his sleep. The most insidious part of this plan, however, was taking the newest iteration of Foxy they could find and making him William's only ally in this nightmare. Eventually, William was conditioned to finally appreciate Foxy's existence, which was the most severe punishment the Golden Duo could imagine for him. After getting the satisfaction of killing William over and over again, Andrew started getting a bit full of himself and started taking credit for all of the work Cassidy had put in. Not only that, but he got so self-absorbed that he regarded himself as the one you should not have killed. Cassidy wasn't having any of that, so after William somehow beat them at their own game, she ditched Andrew and everyone else followed suit. When William awoke, he realized Michael was wheeling him out of the hospital. Excited that he somehow avoided all the possible consequences of his actions, he began to concoct some brand new schemes. Right as Michael shoved him back into the wrecked pizzeria and walked home. Michael had gotten what he needed from his father. In fact, he got everything he needed from just about everyone. Getting to manage a successful Freddy's was one of the best experiences he ever had, and he wasn't
Now it's taped as a lamp.
satisfied
Just like how Bonnie became a lamp. Please add the video. I can't do this. This is like a lot of work. Just watching videos.
with the place being destroyed.
after only a week. He created a new plan, and with everyone out of his way, he bought the rights to the defunct Fazbear Entertainment
With the $5 out of the 5,000.
and began constructing his new bear-themed empire. With that, we reach the end of this chapter of the timeline.
End it. It's over. Alright, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.